Welcome to Career Success Strategies, Lesson 3, Part 1, Job Descriptions and Transferable Skills. We'll first be talking about formatting and content for job descriptions on a resume. So it's important to remember that listing work experience on a resume does not just consist of dates, locations, and the names of the company. When you're typing out job descriptions for work experiences, you want to keep these things in mind. Use numbers wherever possible to describe the amount of work. Start sentences with action verbs. Including accomplishments on the job or milestones you reached when you worked at the company is always a good idea. Also, if you ever were in charge of people, if you were a supervisor or a manager, those are really important skills that you'll want to include right at the top to get the employer's attention and make sure that they see them. Let's look at an example. So, there's a foreman who works for Habacus Construction. You'll notice that in this example, the person who wrote this resume used action verbs like manage and monitor. He also pointed out the number of laborers that he was in charge of, 10. Numbers like that stick out to a recruiter when they're reviewing a resume. He also made sure to list his supervisory experience at the top. Also, what you'll see is this fictional person, included the dollar amount in the budget, okay? Executed is also another example of an action verb. Okay, now what we're going to do is review some job descriptions for positions you might have at the Doe Fund. I encourage you guys to try to make note of some of the stuff we just talked about for creating the best possible description of your work experience. But I'll help you point out some of those things along the way. Our first example, community improvement project maintenance worker. What you'll see on here is that we've used effective action verbs such as improved or assisted. And we're also descriptive in our experiences. Adhere to the schedules for preset cleaning routes to ensure the timely completion of community improvement duties. That's a really descriptive way of saying, I was sweeping the street. Another example would be dispatch driver. What you'll also see on here is other types of action verbs like ensured and addressed and maintained. Supervisor in training is a great example. What's good about this job description that you'll see is that there are action verbs like operate and supervise and inspect. But you'll also note that this person used numbers when they're describing their work experience. Operated large vans with seating for 10 individuals. And they put their supervisory experience up towards the top of the job description in the second bullet. Another example, line cook. What you'll notice here is that, again, this individual used action verbs, utilize, remove. You also notice that they were sure to point out all the different areas of the kitchen that they're comfortable working in. Line, grill, salad, saute, and fryers. Shows the employer that you're versatile, that you have a versatile skill set. Just a couple more. Security officer. Okay, one thing I would point out about this job description that's effective, again, is this person is using numbers. Patrolled a 400-bed residential facility. Numbers like that really pop out to a recruiter, as we already talked about. There are other action verbs like monitor or operate or screen or prevent. Those are all great verbs that this person used in the job description. For maintenance worker or supervisor, again, this person used action verbs like serviced, cleaned, mixed, and was descriptive and detailed in the way that they described their work experience. Okay, so now that we've talked a little bit about job descriptions, we're going to shift to talking about transferable skills. You may have heard this term before, or you may not have. It's fine either way. We're going to go over it right now. Basically, transferable skills are versatile skills acquired from past jobs, volunteering, hobbies, or life experiences that you can apply and make use of in a variety of different roles. So why are they useful and why are we talking about them? You might be going into a job sector where you don't have a lot of experience. Transferable skills will help you sell yourself, meaning that your work experience in other jobs might have given you skills that could make you a good fit in a different sector. A good example of this is, let's say you want to get into construction, but you've worked in building maintenance for 10 years. You'll note that some of the skills in building maintenance that are essential to being good at that job, such as being good with your hands, fixing things, being good at math. Those are all skills that would be valuable on a construction site. Those are all transferable skills. They also can show an employer that you're someone who has potential to be successful in different work environments, that you are flexible or adaptable, and that you're a quick learner. So let's look at some examples. So transferable skills for working with people: patience, open-mindedness, strong verbal communication skills, empathy, being trustworthy or reliable. These are all skills that you may have picked up at one job, but that are relevant to a different job. They're transferable between different positions. What about some transferable skills for working with your hands? Constructing or repairing things, following instructions, using complex equipment, assembling and making things, driving or operating vehicles. You can also refer to your handout that I gave you as part of your pre-class packet to see a full list of transferable skills. Okay, so the point of this class, or this lesson overall, is that we're talking about your resume. So how does that relate to transferable skills? So, as you'll see on the slide, they're not just handy talking points for an interview, they should be in your resume. Transferable skills are directly related to your skills summary or your summary of qualifications. So what do I mean when I say that? Your skills summary is a section at the top of your resume that's basically a 3 to 6 item bulleted list of your most relevant accomplishments and skills. Again, similar to the job description, you want to include numbers where possible, because numbers, like we said, pop out to an employer, and keywords. Okay. It's an excellent place to include transferable skills that are in high demand from employers. Putting your best qualities and skills at the top of the resume gives you a better chance at getting the interview. Okay, let's look at an example. This is an example of a summary of qualifications. So it's at the top of this person's resume, and you'll see that it's highlighting relevant skills. So for example, this is where you would list how many years of experience you have in that industry. 8 years of experience as a handyman for a large real estate company. Okay, proficient in the use of power tools and heavy machinery. That's a transferable skill. Okay, this person may have experience in building maintenance, but they want to get a job in construction. Either way, being proficient in the use of power tools and heavy machinery is important for both of those jobs. Advanced interpersonal skills and a strong ability to take initiative and problem solve. Problem solving and interpersonal skills are two really important transferable skills that you'll want to know about yourself, and if they're relevant to you, listing them on a resume is very important. As we talked about in the introduction video, each part of a lesson will include an assessment. So in order to complete this assessment, you're going to return to the Google Classroom classwork page and take the Lesson 3 Part 1 assessment. Thanks for your time.